Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video we're going to talk start collecting Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and today we're going to take a look at the Bonesplitterz and how we can start a force of them for the current season of Warhammer Age of Sigmar in Andtor. We're going to start by taking a look at the Savage Orruk box set. This contains a bunch of models that can be built as a variety of different unit options for the Bonesplitterz, and then after this we'll take a look at some other units we can use to expand upon this initial box set here. We'll then finally finish off the video with a little sample armor list of 1,000 points for you to use, hopefully as some inspiration for starting your own Bonesplitterz force in Warhammer Age of Sigmar this current season. And so, to begin with, first of all, we have the Savage Orruk box set, as mentioned, and this contains 20 Savage Orruk models. Now, this can build a variety of different kits. It can be used to build both your Savage Orruks, Orruk Arrow Boys, Orruk Maw Boys, and your Savage Big Stabbers can be built from the models within this kit as well. So let's talk a little bit about each of these options. First of all, Savage Orruks. These are the only one of the unit options here that are actually a standard battle line option, regardless of how you sort of build your army up. They have 2 wounds each and a 5+ save, remembering that all models within this army as well will have a 6+ ward. You've then got the option between taking your chopper or your savage stickers on them, and they'll also get their shields as well. Now, the difference here for the chomper and the sticker, the chomper will have a 3+ to wound, or rather than 4+, meanwhile, the savage sticker does have that 2-inch range. Your standard bearer for the unit will give the bone totem, which adds +1 to your bravery, and musicians give you +1 to your charge rolls. Primal Surge is the ability for them, where they can add 1 to wound rolls if they've made a charge move in the same turn. Now, we do have 2 other main units we can build, and the next is the Savage Orruk Arrow Boys. These, as you might expect, drop their save because they no longer have shields, so they've got a 6+ save rather than the 5+. And they've got their Stinger Bows, which are 2 attacks at an 18-inch range, 5s to hit, 4s to wound, no rend, and damage 1. Now, they've got the Aim for its Eyes ability, where you improve their rend characteristic of their attacks by 1 if they target a monster. Now lastly, we have the Savage Orruk Maw Boys of the main sort of units we can build out of this kit. Maw Boys have 2 hand weapons, so they've got 3 attacks with 4s and 3s of no rend, damage 1. And they've got the Maw Boy Fury ability, where they add 1 to their attacks characteristic of their melee weapons if they've made a charge move in the same turn. Now, the last unit you can build from this particular box set is the Savage Big Stabbers, and you actually get a few of them within each of these box set, and you can definitely convert up a couple with spare standard bearers and stuff like that as well. I think can make some really interesting conversions. Savage Big Stabbers, though, are 4 wounds apiece with a 6+ save. You have Gawktooth on them, which is 3 attacks at 3s and 3s, rend 2, damage 2. And then they've got the ability to Final Fling, where each time a model in this unit is slain by an attack made with a melee weapon, before it's removed, you can pick one enemy unit within 3 inches of the slain model and roll a dice, adding 2 to the result if the target is a monster. On a 4+, the enemy unit will suffer D3 mortal wounds. Today's video is brought to you by Gap Games, a fantastic retailer in Australia for a variety of different miniature war games. If you'd like to help support the channel, we have an affiliate link where by clicking on and purchasing, you'll help support the channel, but you'll also help support Gap Games, which is a fantastic servant to the community. And so, looking at where to go next after that initial box set, and of course we're going to look at some of the Andtorian locuses that we can take for the Bonesplitterz, and none I think is better, or indeed better across probably all of the Orruks in general, than the Wargog Prophet. Now, the Wargog Prophet has 7 wounds and a 5+ save, which is pretty decent for a wizard. You're also a 2-cast and 2 unbind wizard there as well. Now, you've got the fun ability of the Wargog Master at the start of your hero phase. Instead of attempting to dispel an endless spell or cast any spells with this unit, you can stare at an enemy unit. What this does is you roll a dice, and on a 3+, the enemy unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. If you wish, you can say this unit will continue to stare at the enemy unit, and if you do so, roll an additional dice on a 3+, the enemy unit suffers D3 mortal wounds, but on a 1 or 2, you will suffer D6 mortal wounds. You can keep rolling additional dice in this way until the enemy unit is either destroyed, your unit is destroyed, or you decide to stop. This is one of the funnest mechanics in all of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. I absolutely love it. I've seen these things take down things like our Kaon across the table, but I've also seen themselves roll, do the first D3 mortal wounds and then roll 2 1s in a row and blow themselves up. just really, really fun models to play with on the tabletop, but can also be a really useful game piece. I love the fact that the mask can be, you know, this big swingy sort of last hurrah for you as well. Now, we then have his Fist of Gork spell, which is successfully cast on a 5 and a range of 24 inch. It's successfully cast, you pick an enemy unit within range invisible to the caster and roll a number of dice equal to the number of models in that unit. For each 6, that unit suffers a mortal wound. However, if the casting roll was 10 plus, that unit will suffer a 4 plus for the mortal wounds instead. This can be really cool with things like primal magic dice. You can really boost up the power of these spells. We then have the Warlock, which is another Andorian Locust. It's a 1 cast and 1 unbind wizard. But the big thing here is its ritual dances, where it can choose at the start of your hero phase, instead of attempting to dispel or cast, it can choose one of the following dances to perform, which can either do some healing, Glyph Dock Dance as well, can add one to the save rolls for your unit, or the Weird Dock Dance on a 3 plus, you can add one to casting, dispelling, and unbinding rolls for a friendly nearby wizard. Now, we do have other wizard options as well for the Bonesplitterz, and this one will go sort of nicely with the other unit we're going to talk about, and that is the Maniac Weirdnob. Now, the Maniac Weirdnob, his big thing is, well, he's on the board. He's your mounted wizard, 6 wounds, 6 plus save. You've got a decent amount of attacks coming out of this model for a wizard. It's a 1 cast and 1 unbind wizard, and you've got the Tusker charge on there, which add 1 to your hit and wound rolls made for your Tusken Hooves on a turn in which it made a charge. Now, Bone Spirit is your spell, and you successfully pick a Bone Splitter unit near you, and you can give them +1 to wound. Now, lastly, we have the Savage Boar Boys. In particular subfactions, these can become Battleline as well, but the Savage Boar Boys, the big thing here is we are going to have, you know, a unit that can go along with a Maniac Weirdnob, something that can keep up and make use. They do have 3 wounds apiece as well, with a 5 plus save, making them pretty decently tanky. You've got the option between Chompers and Savage Stickers, same as the other sort of Savage Orruks. The options here are the same. Then you've got Tusker Charge, same as the Maniac Weirdnob, to give you some extra sort of punch on your mount's attacks, which actually do put out 3 attacks for their mounts as well. And so here we have our sample army list for the Bonesplitterz. Now we've gone for the subfaction here of Icebone. What this subfaction does is it goes really nicely with the allegiance ability of the Savage Orruks to roll a 6 to hit, which is additional hits. But then Icebone allows us each 6 to wound does a number of mortal wounds equal to the value of mortal wounds and damage of the weapon. So if you have damage 2, you do 2 mortal wounds. Now, we then have gone with the grand strategy of Get Them Bones. We have to pick a piece of terrain wholly within our opponent's territory at the start of the game, and if we control this at the end of the game, we complete the grand strategy. We then are also 10 points under, so we've got the Triumph here for Inspired. Now, leader-wise, we have our Wargog Prophet, who's going to be our general, and we've got the command trait on him, which is one with the Beast. What this is going to do is allow us to pick an extra spell from the Lore of Beasts, which is the Bonesplitterz lore. This means our generic spell, our first pick, can be something from Lore of Frost, so we're going to go with Merciless Blizzard and then Gorkamorka's Warcry as well. Now, Merciless Blizzard is just really good direct damage, can do potentially 4d6 mortal wounds, but then we've also obviously got Gorkamorka's Warcry, which allows us to put Always Strikes Last on an enemy unit. We then have our Warlock, who's going to have one of the generic spells, which is Levitate. I really like Levitate for an army that doesn't have ability to fly, and this can be really good for allowing those Savage Boar Boys to get charges into units that we want them to, and really make our opponent have to think about how they're going to screen. We then have our Maniac Weirdnob, who has the Beast Lure glyphs on them. What this is going to do is once per battle at the start of your hero phase, you can pick a spell from the Lore of Savage Beast that the bearer does not know, and you can then attempt to cast that during the battle, though this can only be cast in that hero phase in addition to any other spells as well though. Now, we've then gone for the mount trait of Weirdun. This gives us a 4+ ward against mortal wounds caused by spells or the effects of endless spells, and then we've got the spell Hoarfrost. This gives us some extra rend, but also it means that we don't actually have any of the Lore of Beast spells on our Maniac Weirdnob, which means when he uses the Beast Lure glyphs, we can choose any one of the spells from that lore we need it to be. Battleline wise, we then have 10 Savage Orruks and 2 unit of 5 Savage Boar Boys, which become Battleline in the Icebone subfaction, and then we have 4 Big Stabbers rounding out the force at 990 points out of 1,000. If you've got some ideas on how you'd start up your Bonesplitterz though in the current season of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And so that is the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our great little community we have here at Sinful Gaming, we have a Discord server which is linked down in the video's description. Also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel, be that via Patreon or YouTube members, or by grabbing yourself some merch, whether that's stickers, t-shirt, mugs, or anything from our Teespring store as well, or by using our affiliate links, which are also linked down in the description as well, that go a long way to helping support the channel. As a special thank you to all our Patreons and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out. So thank you to Andy C, Grimskull, Colorblind Magic, Iron Grinch, Benjamin Swallows, James Cater, Mark Harvey, Domir, Average Wargamer, JJ Austrian, Cure Dynamic, Andrew Bowen, Alderin Shot First, Kendall, Soren, Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny 84, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, James Tillman, Disco, John Castle, and Gargamel 196. Thank you all so much for helping support the channel. It means the absolute world to us. Please do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Once again, everyone, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.